Hi, I'm Matt Wilkinson, and I'm the CEO of Thorcon International. Most climate advocates finally realize nuclear power is key in the fight against climate change. Yet two major obstacles persist in their brains and prolong inaction. It's too expensive and it's too slow. If nuclear is going to scale globally, it has to crack these two problems. And that's exactly what we've done, and I want to show you how. Thorcon came into existence thanks to the chance merger of two worlds. Our founder, Jack Devaney, is one of the world's greatest ship designers and builders. Early in his career, Jack was a tenured MIT professor of naval architecture. He designed, built, and operated some of the world's largest ships to transport oil. When he learned about the molten salt reactor experiment conducted in the 1960s at Oak Ridge National Lab, he realized a nuclear power plant could actually be simpler to manufacture than a ship like this if it were built in a shipyard. Thorcon intends to produce emissions-free baseload electricity cheaper than coal in units of 500 megawatt plants, each containing two 250 megawatt reactors. Everyone understands the key is to deliver something at massive scale and low cost. The problem isn't necessarily building the machine. It's designing and building the machine that builds the machine. There are several nice next-gen nuclear designs out there today. Some of them even aspire to be factory built. But that factory must be designed, built, and scaled. What's great about our company is the factory already exists. We based our whole design around an existing global massive manufacturing system called shipyards. Shipyards have been subjected to intense international competition for 80 years, and the survivors are amongst the most efficient, safe, and reliable industrialists on Earth. We will simply ask a shipyard to build a power plant in a hull. We'll float the hull into place, connect it to the grid, and start delivering electricity. A single production line will produce 5 gigawatts per year. We envision 4 production lines running at full capacity by 2040 and 8 by 2050. The brilliant Oak Ridge engineers logged 13,000 hours at full power on their 8 megawatt thermal molten salt reactor over 4 years. By the end of 1969, they'd learned everything they could and planned to build a 300 megawatt version next. Sadly, President Nixon shut down the project and diverted the funding to California endeavors to satisfy his constituents in his home state. But Thorcon devoured the papers from the heavily documented Oak Ridge prototype. Our design is a scale-up of this prototype combined with modern, off-the-shelf technology. Argonne National Lab modeled our neutronics using their advanced software and powerful machines and mirrored our conclusions. South Korea's Daewoo Shipbuilding, now called Hanwha Ocean, reviewed our 60-page specification and gave us a quote which confirmed our costs. We intend to sell electricity for 7 to 8 cents a kilowatt hour, completely unsubsidized, and make it for roughly half that. Demand for clean electricity at this price is nearly insatiable, even in the developing world where price has to be competitive with coal. Thorcon's concerned about the historically long and expensive licensing process at the US NRC. Years ago, Indonesia approached us and asked us for help. With a population of 277 million, Indonesia is the 4th most populous country on Earth. Per capita electricity usage is a 10th of what we use in the US. Like most developing nations, they need massive grid growth. Their president just signed legislation approving nuclear power for the Indonesian grid. The IAEA recommended first step for a country's nuclear power rollout is to set up what's called a NEPIO, or Nuclear Energy Program Implementing Organization. The NEPIO coordinates all the efforts. Indonesia wants its NEPIO online before the end of 2024. They're planning for 54 gigawatts of nuclear by 2060. Last year, we signed a pre-licensing agreement with Indonesian regulator Bapeten, and we're close to finalizing a transparent, predictable, and affordable licensing protocol and timeline. Spanish nuclear regulator CSN and Bapiton signed an information sharing arrangement so Bapiton can benefit from decades of CSN regulatory experience. It's invaluable to have an experienced European regulator to support Bapiton. As you can see from this quote, the Indonesian regulators are very eager to license our plant. Our team has the world's best molten salt reactor experts. Kun Chen is the only person on the planet who has licensed and built an actual operating molten salt reactor. He's developed nuclear power in the US, China, Canada, and Indonesia. Manu Afiero is a legend among neutronics engineers. He heads the thermohydraulics and neutronics aspects of our core design. And Lars Jorgensen has been a technical team leader his entire career. He spans all the disciplines across nuclear, chemical, mechanical, electrical, and the rest, and can deftly sense how a change in one discipline impacts all the others. The climate problem is massive, and we need an equally massive response to it. Thorcon offers this massive response, but it will take stamina and perseverance. That guy with the 195 bib number is me. I wasn't born with the athletic prowess of others, but I became the top steeplechaser at UC Davis and team captain because I don't stop. I'm relentless. The answer is right in front of us, and we need to pursue it relentlessly. We know once this plant is designed, built, and licensed, future plants can be repeated in a predictable at-cost basis. This gives us confidence in our growth plans. Once the first plant's in place, we can step up to 2 per year, then 4, then 8, and can continue to ramp within existing shipyard capacity. That means spectacular power, revenue, and mitigated emission projections that look like this. In the next 12 months, we'll finalize our detailed design, select a shipyard, and finalize the licensing protocol and timeline. We are looking for $30 to $50 million now at a very favorable valuation to set us up for a much bigger round next year. This company alone, on a credible buildup, using a business model we already see, is capable of mitigating 9% of today's annual global emissions by 2050. This company alone. Thanks very much.